Hello everyone, it's good to finally be back. Some of you have asked what has happened to my channel and what you can do to help. Here's the super short version. My YouTube channel, which is my full-time business and only source of income, was recently hijacked by hackers, but it was eventually recovered. If you are a YouTuber facing the same issue and you want to know what you can do to get out of the situation, or if you're just curious about what happened to me and how I fixed it, or if you want to know how you can help me rebuild my channel and rebuild my business, then please keep watching. So before I go any further into the YouTube hacking story, let me back up a little bit and tell you something that happened to me this last summer that's also related to cybercrime and cybersecurity. So a few months ago, I logged into my bank account. I'm not going to name the name of the bank because I don't want to publicly humiliate them, although they deserve it, frankly. I logged in and I noticed that there were 6 wire transfers, not credit card charges, which you can reverse, but wire transfers going overseas to international bank accounts. These wire transfers totaled over $10,000, which to me is a huge amount of money because I'm not a wealthy person. So this was a big deal. This was a major theft. So long story short, it turned out that hackers had somehow gained access to my online access of my bank accounts, even though it was a very secure password. They got in there and they wired money overseas, and my bank never even notified me that these large wire transfers were happening. In order to get my money back, which I eventually did over a month later, I had to file this claim process with the bank, which was a big complicated thing and involved getting the FBI involved, the police department involved, filing an insurance claim with the bank's insurance department, and getting all that done. It was obviously a huge source of stress in my life, and I was glad to get that chapter over, get my money back, and move on, but it made me extremely aware that this cybercrime thing is a real thing and it's happening to real people and has real effects. So back to the story of my YouTube account being hacked. So some of you may have heard earlier this year, and this has been going on for a couple years now, that the YouTube and Twitter accounts of some influential people were hacked and taken over by people posting these Bitcoin scam videos or scam posts. They were designed to get you to send them Bitcoin and then they would send more back. It was basically just a scam and they were trying to get money out of it, which a lot of them ended up actually stealing a lot of money through doing the scam. They only target larger channels and larger accounts. Now, myself with around 10 million views and around 55,000 subscribers, I'm not a huge channel, but I'm not a tiny channel either. I guess I should be flattered that I'm big enough that I was a target for this. Now, not all of you know this, and I haven't talked about this much on my channel because basically I just make motorcycle videos and leave it at that. But YouTube became my full-time job this last April 2021 when I decided to leave my 14-year-long corporate career, which was a great career, but I decided to leave it because my channel had become large enough and successful enough to sustain me full-time, and I felt that it was very promising and it's something I wanted to do. So at that point, it became my only income. So here's the story of the hack. So this last Friday morning, I'm drinking my coffee in the morning, sitting there with my tablet, and I get a notification that all of my devices have been logged out of my Gmail account. So that was the first thing, oh no, something's really wrong here. I also received a Facebook message through my Big Rock Moto branded Facebook page from a viewer saying, "What happened to your YouTube account? It's gone." And at this point, my heart was just basically sinking, this has to be a bad dream, right? I was just thinking, how can my channel just be gone from YouTube? And how can somebody bypass all the security I had in place for my Google account and get in there and do this? I was just in a state of disbelief. So obviously, one of the first things I did was I tried logging back into my Google account, and it said the password had been changed. But I was like, okay, well, there's recovery methods, right? There's a phone number and an email. Well, guess what? The hacker was somehow able to get in and change all those. So basically, he was trying to steal my identity, change all the recovery methods. So Google just would not recognize this account as belonging to me. I also went on to YouTube and checked, and definitely my YouTube account that I'd worked on for years and put thousands of hours into was just completely gone from YouTube. So believe it or not, as crazy as this sounds, neither Google or YouTube or any of those kind of Google companies have any sort of customer support departments where you can call like you would with your bank or any other company you work with and talk to somebody and try to get help. That does not exist. It was absolutely maddening to not have any way to talk to somebody to at least commiserate with me or give me some sort of a path to fixing this problem. So obviously I started to do some online digging and some research as fast as I could, and at the same time I'm doing this, I'm resetting all my passwords for all my financial accounts, thinking, oh my God, they're going to hack my bank again, or they're going to hack my other stuff. So I was resetting all that, resetting my computer, doing all these things at the same time. But anyway, I was able to find out a couple backdoors, ways in to try to get help from Google and YouTube. So the first way I found was that if you pay for Google storage, which I did, it's called Google One or Google Drive, I forget, but you can actually, there's a phone number you can call. So I talked to them, and the person was nice enough, but they weren't able to offer me actually any real help. They just said the only way to do it is to go online to the recovery page and put in information and try to recover your account. But I told them I'd already done that. It just leads me to a dead end and says that we can't verify that this account belongs to you, and then it just stops. And you can't put in the information. There's no place to go from there. So after being exasperated with this, I did some more digging online, and I found out that because I'm a YouTube partner program, I'm in that program, I'm a creator who makes money on YouTube, and also YouTube makes money from me, right? And I think that's the important thing, is that they're making a lot of money from us as creators. They take half of our income, right? And if you're a creator, you know this. So that's a huge deal. They're earning a ton from it, so they want to support you because they want to earn their money, right? So because of that, they have ways that YouTube creators can get support, and one of the ways is through Twitter. So I don't really use Twitter that much, but I did have an account. So I contacted Team YouTube on Twitter and explained my situation, and I was pretty desperate. And I was like, please, God, help me, because this is my whole business just down the drain here. So what they did is they replied pretty quickly, and what they were able to do was they were able to look on the back end or whatever and verify that I was part of the partner program. And they were able to give me access to a form via one of my other Google accounts. So if it's important to have like another Google or G Suite account that you do have access to, they were able to give me the form through that email address, and I was able to submit what they call a channel hijacking form, which is you fill out all this information like your IP address, your channel information, the videos you've recently uploaded. It's all designed to help them identify that, oh yes, this channel does belong to this person. So it's this big long thing you fill out and you submit it saying that I was hijacked, please help. So after I submitted that form, the next 24 to 48 hours, I was going back and forth with YouTube via email and also via Twitter saying, how do we get this resolved, keep moving forward. And eventually what I noticed was that my Gmail account, my Google account, which controls my YouTube account, and that's important to understand this. If you're a YouTuber, you know this, but for those of you who don't, the only way to have a YouTube account is to link it to a Google account. So it's all tied together. And to make matters worse, the way that you earn money, which is Google AdSense, it's just one of the main ways we earn money, that's also owned by Google. So it's all the same login. So there's no real checks and balances here. If you lose access to your Google account, you lose access to your AdSense account and your YouTube account. It's all just stopped. So anyway, I noticed that my Google account said it was locked, which was a good step because that means that the hacker also has locked access to that account. So emailing back and forth with the people from YouTube, I was finally able to get them to start restoring my YouTube channel, Big Rock Moto. Now, once I regained access to my Google account and also my YouTube account, I was able to uncover what the hacker had actually done and sort of why they were doing this. So essentially what happened is that this hacker went into my account, not because he was trying to get into my email or to my Google files, but solely with the purpose of hacking my YouTube and taking over my YouTube account to post some video. So what the hacker did was he got into my Google account, then he went to my YouTube account, my largest one with the 55,000 subscribers. I actually have other channels too, but this is my largest one. And he went in there, he changed the name of it, he changed the branding and the images, and then he posted some sort of live streaming video about this Bitcoin scam, and it had like Elon Musk and all this stuff. Basically, YouTube immediately starts to flag that and say this is inappropriate, this is illegal, and their filters pull it down right away, and they actually deactivate the whole channel. So I don't know how long this video was up for. I only had like one person contact me and say, hey, why is your channel called like Sheena Ibu News or something like that? So it wasn't up for that long. So once I regained full access back into my channel, thankfully, which was just like today, I'm posting this the day that this is happening. Once I regained full access, I then have to go, and I'm doing this now, into the back end of my channel. I had to make all my videos public again. I had to restore all my images and all my branding and all my channel information and all the links and all that stuff, which takes hours to do. So what I'm doing now is that I've noticed that all of my comments that I've made, like I interact with my audience all the time. So there's thousands and thousands of comments back and forth between me and my viewers. All of the replies and comments that I've posted are gone. And that's a huge problem for me. And I'm asking YouTube if there's some way that that can be restored. I'm also wondering and trying to work through the process of how does your videos being gone from the algorithm for a few days affect when your videos are posted back up. Are your videos going to regain the traction that they had? I mean, you know how this works. If you're a creator, if you had a video with like 500,000 views and it was earning good income for you steadily and then it just disappears and comes back, like how does that work? Like, is it going to keep earning money at the same rate? Is the algorithm going to keep showing it to all the same people it was before? That's the scary part about this. So I'm still working through that right now. Here's what I've learned from this happening to me. Number one, cybercrime is real and it's happening to people right now. This is the second time within a year, 2 unrelated incidents that I've been attacked personally and financially by cyber criminals. The second thing I've learned is that you absolutely have to use 2-factor authentication or 2-factor login for any account that's available to you. So your Google account should have it, although some business accounts don't have that, which is a real shame. They need to fix that. Your bank accounts, anything else, use 2-factor logins so that something pops up on your phone that you have to verify in order for you to get into your account. That is a pretty good safeguard against most hacking attempts. The third thing I learned is that Google and YouTube, they're probably not watching this, but if they are, they really need to improve their customer care, their customer support, because the entire time I went through this, other than maybe that one guy on email with YouTube helping me out, I felt completely unsupported and completely alone and in the dark through this whole process of my entire business, which is a pretty successful business, just being gone from the face of the earth. And that's not a good feeling to have. And I think Google has the resources to help people, and I think they should be doing that. And number 4 is that I will never understand who these hackers are, what their motivations are, despite like maybe that first hacker getting money from me and stealing money from a bank account. But like the second hack, I don't know what they gained from it. So they posted some Bitcoin video for a couple hours, and what did they even get from that? Like, I don't understand why this is such a thing, but it doesn't really matter. You just have to know that this is happening and you need to protect yourself against it and be ready for it if it does happen. So here's my advice to everybody out there, whether you're a YouTuber or just someone who uses the web for anything at all. First of all, like I said, use 2-factor login for everything that you can. Number 2, change your passwords often and do not use the same passwords for multiple important accounts, and make your passwords very strong. Don't have simple words, don't have things that are like your birthday or anything like that. Like, make them super secure that no one's ever going to be able to guess, right? And the next thing is, don't rely on the cloud, whether you use Apple or whether you use Google Cloud or Microsoft OneDrive or whatever it is. Don't rely on that to be like, oh, all my documents and everything important to my life is stored in the cloud. It can't be hacked. It can't be gone. It can be gone. You can be locked out of it and you may not be able to get back in. There's some people who've lost access to the Google accounts and were never able to get back in, and it's a very bad thing. So have a backup in paper files or a hard drive that's not connected to the web. Have a backup way to restore your digital life. Now, if you want to help me recover and you want to help my channel get back to where it was, first of all, thank you for caring. I appreciate that. I have lost a lot of income due to this, not only because the 3 or 4 days that my channel was down, but also the damage to the momentum of all my videos and how the algorithm works. Contrary to what you might think, YouTubers like me at this level, we don't make a lot of money. We're just kind of getting by, we're trying to grow, and so we're not exactly swimming in money here. Not trying to make you feel sorry for me, I'm just saying that like this really hurts. So there's a few things you can do to help. You can go to my videos and let them run in the background, even though you're not watching them, that's fine. Just put them on your devices and let them run. Make comments, leave thumbs up, do things like that. Just interact with the channel content. That'll help get me back into the algorithm. You can support me on Patreon. My Patreon's still pretty small. I think I have around 15 Patreons. But please, let's increase that, because that's a great way to provide support to help my channel be more financially independent. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Those are great ways to help the channel out and help me grow. The other thing you can do is you can use my Rocky Mountain link, which is below and it's in all my videos. You can click on that, and then when you shop at Rocky Mountain and buy your motorcycle and ATV parts and riding gear, a little bit of commission goes to help support this channel. And that's a great way. It doesn't cost you anything to support the growth of this channel, and it really helps me out. So thank you for doing that. And also stay tuned. In a few days, I'm going to be releasing merchandise for sale. A lot of you have been asking for things like this hoodie or the caps that I have, or the beanies or the t-shirts, stuff like that. So I'm going to be releasing that in a few days, and that'll also be a great way to help me rebuild from this disaster. So really would appreciate that. And of course, the information on how to do all this is going to be below in the description of this video. Most of all, and this is really, really heartfelt, all of you out there, I really do want to say thank you. Not just to those of you who have helped grow this channel and been a part of this community since the very beginning years ago, but all of you who reached out during this time of crisis and offered your support, and in many ways did help me get through this. So thank you. It really means a lot to me. And all of you who watch these videos, who comment, who are part of this community, you're why I do this. You really are, and you're what keeps me going. So thank you so, so much. You guys mean the world to me. I hope you ride safe. I hope to see you out on the trail soon. And until then, we'll see you in a few days.